Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I am Stylosa, and there's been an Overwatch update. That is right, the game has updated just literally right now, and there's a bunch of stuff going on. There's a big Baptiste buff, and actually this Baptiste buff is pretty damn spicy. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the new competitive map pool coming to next season. This, ladies and gentlemen, could potentially be massive for the game. So let's just read this off verbatim, which means exactly word for word, so there can be no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it says. Starting with Season 19, we are moving the beginning and end of competitive play seasons from the first of every other month to the first Thursday of every other month. We will also be starting the season later in the day to better correspond with developer availability during the day. Season 19 now starts on November the 7th at 1800 UTC, 10 AM PST, 13 EST. That's wonderful, because that means the devs will be able to react faster if things break in between competitive seasons. But not only that, it could mean that we are going to get updates, ladies and gentlemen, for every new competitive season. So, like, it's just not rolling over, because right now, we literally do not care when the season ends. It's like we're on Season 19, we could be on Season 50, Season 3 billion. None of this matters to us. There needs to be difference. There needs to be changes. Something has to happen in between the seasons. This could be the beginning of that. Now, let's move on to the changes that are coming in with Season 9, because this is the big one, right? We will be introducing a rotating seasonal map pool to competitive play starting with Season 19. Thank God, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we wanted. Like, this is beautiful. The initial map pool for Season 19 has 12 maps with 3 of each game mode. Future competitive seasons will see maps rotating in and out of the pool, providing each season with a different experience and identity. This is awesome, because this is just exactly like Overwatch League, so we get the same kind of experience those guys kind of have to deal with. Information about the current maps available in the map pool is available by opening the information panel of the competitive play card. That's going to be beautiful when it comes in. Remember, this isn't available right now, but it will be available tomorrow when the season goes live. This is the Season 19 map pool, where I can tell you right away. So remember, you can't go into competitive right now and right-click on the play card. You will be able to do this tomorrow, I do believe. Anyway, the map pool is this: Assault, Hanamura, Temple of Anubis, probably my favorite assault, Volskaya Industries. Now, you'll know, ladies and gentlemen, there's a certain map missing from that. It is Horizon Lunar Colony. Now, I was actually in the developer roundtable interview that was happening, where Jeff did say, yeah, there's no Horizon, and yeah, there'll be no Paris in this season. And everybody kind of cheered, and, well, they went, hey, and kind of cheered and laughed. I think I put a tweet out literally at the moment Jeff said that. I know a lot of people did check that tweet out, but that was competitive map pools being confirmed by Jeff. Beautiful stuff. And of course, it's live right now. Oh, well, it will be for next competitive season, which is tomorrow. For hybrid, we get Hollywood, Kings Row, obviously. Can you imagine if the first competitive season didn't include Kings Row? Kings Row is the best map ever made in any game ever. Maybe Dust 2 is, actually. I don't know. Kings Row, I'm going to go with. It's the best map ever. It's the map that Spitfire won the Overwatch League on as well. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, Kings Row and Iconvold. That's pretty cool. Control, Nepal, Lijiang Tower, Busan. I don't think anybody cares about what control maps are in the pool. Everyone loves control maps. Everyone being me, of course. And the score is Dorado, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, and Havana. So beautiful, right? We have now got map pools with Overwatch competitive seasons. I will take this, and I will love it, and I will cherish it. But the next thing I'm going to ask for is a map pick and ban system. So yes, map pools are great, but if we go into Assault and it's Hanamura versus Volskaya, I mean, I prefer to play on Hanamura. Maybe in the future that'll come down the line, ladies and gentlemen. One can only hope. Okay, so the other updates we get are workshop updates. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So there's variable renaming you can do now. Increased number of allowed variables up to 128. Autosave preset is available. New workshop values. You've got custom strings, all tank heroes, all support heroes, all damage heroes, current maps. I always say when I cover workshop stuff, a lot of this just goes over my head. I'm not a workshop user. I play the workshop, but I can't make stuff in the workshop. But for you guys that do, this probably makes sense. Now, here's the one we're going to get onto. This is the Baptiste update. So before we get on to Baptiste, that's maybe a little bit of a teaser. Ladies and gentlemen, I've leaded you in with a lie. My God. Torbjorn Molten Core has decreased in cost by 10%. So actually, he gets a bit of a buff there. I think Torb players will probably like that. It's Torb's, you know, he's kind of okay, I guess. I don't know. That's fine. There's a general change to May's Ice Wall, Baptiste's Immortality Field, and Sigma's Gravitic Flux, they will now more heavily prefer edges over placing as far away as possible. This will definitely help with May walls, so you can put the wall like right on the edge of the wall. And this kind of does make sense because when I played through the PvE demo, the Rio de Janeiro mission at BlizzCon, you really do need to use May walls, and you really do need to put them literally on the ledge to block damage coming in from the large Omnic units that just sort of fully charge up and one-shot kill you type of thing. So changes like that are great. Anyway, let's talk about Baptiste. So Baptiste is probably, I'm going to say, it's either a Baptiste or Ana, or I do kind of like Zen, but I'm going to say Baptiste or Ana are my favorite supports to play. Obviously, right now in the meta, Baptiste is way more viable than Ana, but still Moira is really good, Mercy's really good, and it's kind of difficult for Baptiste. You do get Baptiste can be played. Baptiste Moira is a strong comp, but Baptiste has got these changes anyway. So this gameplay footage here in the background, I've literally just recorded it, so this is fresh on the patch. Biotic Launcher, this is where everything goes for Baptiste update. Recovery decreased from 0.5 to 0.35 seconds. Random damage spread removed. Damage fall-off range now begins at 25 meters, up from 20. Beautiful. So Baptiste has been buffed, right? The question is this enough to make Baptiste sort of meta viable, super strong or whatever? I mean, honestly, it's always difficult with these videos to kind of tell. I have fun, and you guys will see me have fun in a second when I drop my, not immortality, I always call it amplification matrix on the high ground. I actually totally failed there to get on the high ground because I am a feeder. But what I wanted to do here is use the increased, the damage fall-off range is now 25 meters and not 20, so you've got an extra 5 meters to play with there. Granted, I'm about to fire through the amplification matrix, so watch this. Amp matrix down. I mean, it probably wouldn't have made any difference in that kill and maybe not in that kill. Here, though, doing damage to the hog at that range, it's definitely making a difference. Of course, I am firing through the amp matrix, so I'm doing a ton more damage than I normally would, but there is a buff there to Baptiste. Baptiste can do more damage. This makes him more dangerous to deal with, and Baptiste is actually kind of really cool anyway, and generally quite difficult to deal with, especially when he drops down his immortality field. It's very difficult for like Tracer to dive Baptiste, or Genji to cause him problems. Yeah, they can harass him, but he kind of has ways to deal with it. So I kind of like this change, but you got to remember, guys, I am a Baptiste player. I've got his golden gun, as you can see. I would like Baptiste to get buffed. So thank you for this buff, Blizzard. It's wonderful stuff. Yeah, and I guess that kind of brings us to the end of the video, guys. That's all that's happened right now. We do know, though, that Jeff did say there will be a PTR update next week. He did confirm this on Reddit, in which the same post he did confirm there would be a live game update this week, which is the update we've got now. But there is something coming to the PTR. We don't know what that is. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, maybe I doubt it's going to be a new hero. If it is a new hero, I will lose my mind, because I'm fully expecting if we get Echo or Sojourn as the next hero, they'll probably be March next year, most likely. Would we get maybe a new map? Again, probably not on the PTR, because we already know the devs are working on Overwatch 2. We know that they are working on a ton of maps for the new mode push. There's a lot of stuff going on, so it's sort of like, I don't know. Like, your guess is as good as mine, guys. Where are we going to... What's going to be on the PTR? Will it just be more balance changes? It could be. I'm in this really weird spot, though, where, because I've been exposed to the new stuff at BlizzCon, and I've been sort of absorbing myself in all of the new news, it's kind of really weird to go back to Overwatch as it is right now, and then try and speculate on what they'd be doing in terms of update, because I kind of it's not that I'm out of the meta right now or out of the game, but it just isn't at the forefront of my mind. So when I look at like this gameplay footage, for example, this looks like old Overwatch to me, because it is old Overwatch. Reinhardt doesn't look like the Reinhardt, you know, I was playing with all weekend. Tracer doesn't look like the Tracer. But the big one is the UI. The UI does not look like the Overwatch UI, because the new UI is... well, it's way better. Do you guys remember the high precision mouse input feature and how everybody was kind of a little bit confused to how this works? Well, we've actually got an explanation here from Derek Muller. Derek Mulder, sorry. Derek Muller. It's because that's because I had a Muller Rice earlier on. Yeah. Anyway, Derek Mulder, which is a yogurt, ladies and gentlemen. It's like a rice yogurt thing in the UK. You could probably get them in other countries. Whatever. Mental. My brain is mental. I think I'm still jet lagged. Anyway, Derek is here, and he's here to explain how this works. So what he says is, firstly, a quick summary on how aiming and shooting happens in Overwatch. Overwatch simulates or ticks every 16 milliseconds or at 62.5 hertz. Each tick, we update the player's aiming direction based on whatever raw inputs we received from the mouse hardware since the previous tick. If the player has pressed primary fire, we then launch their shot in that direction unless they're dead or something else is happening. That's cool and it's fine. However, this is the cool thing. Despite this being a conventional way of handling mouse input in first-person shooters, we wanted to do better. Many gaming mice these days support 500 Hz, 1000 Hz, or even more in terms of polling rates. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a Logitech G Pro Wireless. It has very high polling rates, way above a normal mouse, and none of it is used with Overwatch because it only operated at a 62.5 Hz update rate. Anyway, this is what Derek goes on to say. Whatever, scroll up. Derek goes on to say, at 1000 Hz, this means the mouse movement done between game ticks can be done as many as 16 discrete mouse movements delivered from the hardware. An example here may help. So let's check these examples out, because it's all right me just talking about the words, but let's actually watch his video footage. So the first one, this is a simulated flick in Overwatch. By simulated, I mean uniform mouse movement per polling frame, which isn't how humans move a mouse, but is helpful for purposes of explanation. Okay, let's have a look. So there we go. So this is what I tried to show in the video I made trying to explain this, but obviously I don't have a macro or anything to do this with, so I'm just using my mouse. So yeah, there's a simulated flick. So from there to there. Now the next one is but basically it shows you like what's happening like from like where McCree's sort of information is being sent to the server on each line. So the white lines are where the player's aim direction is pointing every 16 milliseconds. Okay, so the key thing to look at here when this pauses is the gaps in between, right? So these gaps where there's no white line, you may fire there, but actually you'll fire at the white line, so you could miss the target. That's the huge thing here, and this is why this is such a brilliant visual representation. Then we move on to this, which just shows you how much better it is having a much higher refresh rate. You'll be more accurate, like on a polling rate, not refresh rate, polling rate. The reason why I said refresh is because of hertz. So if he says now we add in red lines, drawing where the player is aiming after every received mouse input from 1000 hertz polling rate, look at the red line. I mean, I'll play the video, it's just exactly the same, but look at the red line. That reduces the error. So no longer are we working on the white lines, we're working on the red line, so your aiming will be way more accurate. You're not going to have better accuracy from this, but if you're aiming at the target and when you pull the trigger, now you will fire where you're aiming. It won't correct to this polling rate, which it did before, which was 65 hertz, because now you can theoretically have polling rates above 1000 hertz, which is just going to be incredible. And that's basically it. So then he finishes it off with the new high precision option enabled, projectiles can now travel down any of the red lines. This means that you can also functionally shoot between rendered frames or at high FPS on rendered frames that are in between ticks. That sounds really complicated, but that is a frigging beautiful change, ladies and gentlemen. I can't explain how good that is. Then he just go on to say some additional things worth noting. It will not change how it feels to look around. Looking around will feel the same as it always has, since the final rendered view always took into account any and all raw input messages received from the hardware prior to that frame. Enabling this option will have a small CPU cost. I don't think it's going to be too huge. Subframe aiming only takes place when a mouse button is either going down or up, and only when using primary or secondary fire, i.e. holding down primary fire for tracking type weapons. That will not have any change to how it behaves, and we hope you enjoy this new feature. Just to show you guys the fire. There you go. Sort of showing you as he moves and he fired. Cool explanation. Turn this option on if you can, ladies and gentlemen, but try and play with it on. If your game gets too laggy, then turn it off, but I don't think it will be too bad. Maybe we'll get, I mean, that'd be cool if they just put the UI onto the PTR or something. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to do that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Silo, so this is Unit Lost. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell and all that jazz, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo. Oh, and in terms of new videos coming on the channel, there is a review of the push mode coming out, and there's some other funky little videos I've been working on, because it's actually cool to work on videos again when we've got content and stuff to talk about on Overwatch. Catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.